You're watching Ride the Teacups, and we're exploring the secrets, history, and tour of the electric eel roller coaster in SeaWorld San Diego. If you're just here for the ride, skip to 5 minutes and 5 seconds of the video. The electric eel has a height requirement of 54 inches, which is 4.5 feet tall. They have lockers for your loose articles, but they're not free. On our ride, they collected our hats, phones, and glasses at the boarding station. But don't count on it. There's also one inversion and a ride photo. Now, SeaWorld technically doesn't have an official rider swap program for the electric eel, but if you talk to a ride attendant before jumping in line, they'll often accommodate you. Make sure you ask. Also, make sure you subscribe for awesome tips like that and like the video. The ride reaches speeds of 62.1 miles per hour as it shoots you straight up 147.5 feet. Then it slowly takes you through its only inversion, a super slow heartline roll at the very top of the ride. Let's take a quick look at that roll because there's a cool secret here. See my shoulder straps? Take a look at my kid. They're not even close. These straps are called comfort collars, and secret number one is that they don't actually do anything. They exist solely so that you'll feel safer on the ride. But the lap bar harness is what's really keeping you safely in place. Some of the other versions of this ride don't even have them. That's right. Secret number two is that this isn't the only place you can ride the electric eel. This coaster was created by a company called Premier Rides, and it's actually called the Sky Rocket 2. You can find this exact same ride at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, where it's called Superman Ultimate Flight. Superman first opened back in 2012, while SeaWorld's version didn't open until 2018. But that's not all. This coaster is also in Holiday Park, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Lake Compounds, Sarkaniemi in Finland. I am so sorry for that pronunciation. Zesling Paradise in China, Busch Gardens Tampa, and Salitre Magic in Colombia. There used to be a version in Mexico called the Zombie Ride and another in Saudi Arabia called the Skyloop. The Mexican theme park Bosque Mágico closed down, and the Skyloop was moved to a different park after just a year. SeaWorld had some unique hurdles when they first planned to build the electric eel. The park is right on Mission Bay, so they always need to be aware of any environmental impact to the ocean. Fortunately, the ride doesn't really have much of an impact, but they had to do the research and file reports about everything they discovered and anticipated. They're also within 1,000 feet of an inactive landfill, which means that any construction might accidentally discharge pollutants into Mission Bay. There's about a half dozen city, state, and federal government agencies they need to report to in order to build basically anything. Another issue is that California is an expensive place to live and work. Part of the expectation of that price tag are the amazing views, especially of the bay. So SeaWorld can't block them or build anything tall and ugly. This is actually secret number 3. The ride is painted blue and teal, but not because they're trying to represent something underwater. It's to help the ride blend into the blue sky. The official ride application specifically states the ride was designed to reduce coastal visual impacts and that it uses mature trees to soften the visual impacts from both land and water, and that the color scheme will blend in with the backdrop of the sky from every single viewing angle. And finally, before we can get to secret number 4, you have to know that there's a legal requirement for all marine mammal public display facilities in the United States to offer educational or conservation programs. That's pretty specific, not exactly something Disneyland has to deal with. SeaWorld specifically is required to have at least 75% of their attractions include a significant animal, education, or conservation element. So secret number 4 is that they've set up a multiplayer educational game called Mission Deep Discovery next to the ride. And there are also several signs in the queue teaching riders about eels because they're legally required to be there. But they're also pretty cool, so I'm glad it's all there. All of those issues and solutions were first proposed on January 3rd, 2017. Construction was finished a year later on January 17th, 2018, with an opening date set for May 12th. But everything was going so well, they actually moved the opening forward 2 days early. So the electric eel officially opened on May 10th, 2018. There have been a handful of injuries reported on the ride over the years, including a dislocated knee, shoulder and neck pain, a ruptured breast implant, and an ankle injury. That ankle injury actually resulted in SeaWorld shutting down the ride for over a month, making some adjustments to the ride vehicles, but they never publicly stated what those changes were. But with all that said, I rode it with my 8-year-old twice, and we both loved every second of it both times. And now you get to ride it with us too. Hop on!
Are you ready?
10,
Keep your feet,
9,
put your head back.
8,
And
7, 6. This takes too long. Bye.
Oh, that is straight up. Whoa! Ah! Woo! Oh my God, that is fast and high. Oh! Oh, that is terrifying! Woo!
Thanks so much for riding with us. Make sure you subscribe for even more theme park videos. Up next, check out the rest of our SeaWorld adventures. Or you can ride another one of our favorites with us here instead. We love you. We'll see you next time we ride the Teacups. Later, y'all.